Hey everyone, I wanted to come on here and give you my 1.5 year update after having surgery for thoracic outlet syndrome. I had my surgery on January 21st of 2020 and today is July 28th of 2021. So I'm just right after the 1.5 year mark after having surgery. In a nutshell, if you want to know how I'm doing, I believe the word that would describe it is stable. I still have pain on and off. And when I say pain, it varies from shoulder pain, like right here at the joint, irritation across my chest with even wearing a seatbelt. Sometimes it's pain along my scar line from when I had ulnar nerve surgery, or sometimes it's irritation or tingling and numbness in my fingers on my left hand side. And I notice that it gets worse usually when there are weather changes, like when it's about to rain, barometric pressure change kind of stuff. That's usually what aggravates it. Or if I have a general inflammation. And I know I woke up today and I could feel that I had inflammation, which is probably influenced that, stressed, lack of a proper restful sleep. And then just kind of like a demanding schedule. I've been doing a lot more music gigs lately. So that, along with my job and just life, I woke up and I had like my shoulder was aching very badly, having issues with my bowels. I just felt general like malaise and fatigue. So those are some of the indicators where I know that it's not just a shoulder or like my arm issue. It's just in general, I'm having some inflammation. Good thing is that for the most part, as long as I'm not, if I start and I have pain and I continue to do very heavy activities, like I'm lifting stuff or stuff that requires a lot of like fine motor movement with my hands, then if I continue that way, then the pain is very hard to treat. Otherwise, if I notice I'm having it, it'll usually respond to like ibuprofen. So I took like ibuprofen 800 milligrams this morning. Within like an hour or two, like the pain kind of subsided. I have done chiropractic treatments and acupuncture. Actually, the person that I go to does both kind of treatments, and we actually lean more heavily on the acupuncture side. As far as chiropractic work, he's very meticulous. He doesn't do a lot of just cracking you all over. It's very precise adjustments, where I usually have one like toward the base of my neck, or since I do like a lot of sitting like with work, sometimes they'll do hip adjustments, but that's usually like once every 2 to 3 months, and then the rest of it's acupuncture. I had my last treatment probably in the beginning of June 2021, and we're already at the end of July. I had been doing generally pretty good. Just I had some extra stress like in the last couple of weeks, preparing for like a concert and stuff, and had some kind of like emotional stuff that came along with it. So like I knew that I was a little bit more stressed, and those kind of things do influence pain. One of the things that I learned during like a group session at the Mayo Clinic, they made all of their patients that were getting treated for thoracic outlet syndrome to do like pain management course, and all the factors like lack of sleep, stress, emotional pain, or emotional stress can all affect your physical side as well and can manifest in physical symptoms. So doing kind of like stress management, that has been actually a really big help to be able to decrease the amount of pain that I have. If you have any questions in regards to some of the topics as far as pain management, as far as that group session that I did, let me know. I can point you at some of those resources. It really was illuminating, as far as if you create bad or negative behavior patterns, your body will actually get used to it and react in pain. So it's really interesting stuff, and I've made like purposeful intentions not to follow some of those, like not to engaged in like negative feedback behavior, and it's helped a lot. So let me know below if you want to know more about that. Maybe I can do a separate video discussing some of that material. So along with the chiropractic work, acupuncture stuff, I would still follow up with my physiatrist, my local physical medicine doctor, who is the one who initially referred me to Mayo Clinic to get treated for TOS. We decided that because I'm still having the pain come on and off, and it was a little bit more so back in February and March, we decided to proceed with doing a bilateral EMG just to see if there was anything else that was going on. Did we miss anything? Has anything gotten worse in surgery? So I had that June 29th of 2021, and the results were, pretty conclusive. What we found out is I had a little bit of slowing of connection across my forearm, but they said it was the same in the left and the right. Like both of them were equal or comparable. So we didn't really look too much into that. Initially, when I had my very first EMG, we showed that I had a decreased conduction across my left elbow, which is actually the reason why I had ulnar nerve surgery back in 2018 before we looked into TOS. So with this EMG that we had done in June, just last month, we showed that that is still corrected. There's no conduction issues. There's nothing that's getting stopped up or anything like that. They compared the right-hand side. Everything looks normal and equal. And then they actually stuck a needle here in my left hand, kind of had me kind of like open up and move my fingers around. And they said like in the wave pattern that they found polys, and I'm not exactly sure what's like the full term, but it was polys is what they found on it. And they said that that's actually a good indication that my nerve may be regrowing. That's usually a sign that there's healing going on. So I relayed the information over to the main PA that handles my case at Mayo. And they said, you know what, I agree. Like it looks like everything is done correctly. You're healing, it just may be taking longer than expected. But it was kind of a sigh of relief also because I actually have some objective proof that I am healing, which just makes me encourage myself like, okay, it's okay. This should eventually get better and hopefully it'll just keep on improving. One thing that they did notice or they mentioned is that since I'm still having that irritation here in my chest area, kind of like where the surgery happened, they said it could be for a variety of things. It could be that there's scar tissue, like that's just left over from whatever the injury I had was. It could be regrown scar tissue from the surgery, or it could just be how my body is perceiving the pain. And there's not really much we can do about that. You wouldn't go in and try to remove scar tissue because you're doing another surgery, which is going to cause scar tissue. So they said there's not really much you can do about that. If your body is interpreting that sensation for pain, there's not much you can do other than medication. So they said that we could do gabapentin, or they said, let's look into duloxetine. That's the generic for Cymbalta, which usually is like an antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication, but now also has an indication to be used for nerve pain or fibromyalgia. So they did prescribe it for me in a low dose, 20 milligrams, but I have not taken it yet because we decided, like after consulting with the physiatrist and with my PCP, that if the pain got really, really bad where nothing wasn't touching it anymore, then I would do a trial of duloxetine. So basically, I have it here in case things get really, really bad. I have at least some type of treatment plan, but I haven't gotten there yet. So thank God, like I'm still pretty stable as it is. Usually using a heating pad or getting a massage to deal with some of like the tension in my neck, on the base of my skull, usually helps to be able to prevent any worse pain. Unfortunately, when it comes to a seatbelt, I'm still having to move like the strap that goes across like here, but even like the weight or pressure here in my arm will irritate it all the way down. So I usually end up having to put it back, and I'm just using the lap belt portion, which is not necessarily the safest. I know that there are supposed to be some seat belt adjusters, but I haven't found one yet that I can use. If you do know of one, please let me know, because I am in the market to look for something so I can still have the seat belt across, because that's the safest way to go about it. Otherwise, I feel like I'm still doing well. I've actually started back up with an exercise routine, mostly doing like cycling at home. And I feel like that's helping me get a little bit more stamina. I was pretty sedentary after the surgery. I had another type of bike that I used to have, but I couldn't adjust the seat forward anymore, so I would have to lean forward too much, and then that would just mess up my arm for the rest of the day. I'm still not able to do push-ups or planks, anything of that sort, anything that's relying on the arms. Jumping jacks, like full range of motion, I would not do it, because anything that I have to do repetitive overhead will irritate my arm as well. So I can do squats, like body weight kind of movements. I can do some like ab work, like sit-ups and that kind of thing. I try to be very careful, because my neck gets irritated easily as well. So I got a new bike and been doing classes, and that's actually been working really, really well so far. And I'm hoping that'll just continue on. I don't have much else to update. I haven't had too much happen as far as my TOS journey. There have been other health things that I've been looking into and checking up with. So TOS has just basically been stable now, really the last year and a half. I'm definitely better than what I was prior to surgery. So I still think even at the year and a half point, surgery was worth it. It's just, unfortunately, I'm a slow healer in this process. And I did have a significant amount of scar tissue in my left arm when they did the ulnar nerve surgery. I had a lot of scar tissue in my chest as well. So it was from some pretty traumatic issues that happened several years back. And I didn't realize that that was the evidence of how bad the trauma was. So it probably happened even, like, I noticed it after a workout that I did in 2017. But when you look back at the pattern, like issues with the neck and with the amount of scar tissue, this is stuff that could have been happening, 2011, 2012, that kind of thing. So it was actually possibly 5 or 6 years in the making. And the workout itself was actually just the straw that broke the camel's back that started all of the symptoms. So if you've had any type of injury, sports related, trauma related, whatever it is, and you start having these symptoms, I do implore you, get checked out soon, like as quickly as possible. If you need to go in for a second opinion, get that. If they offer a chance of surgery and they prove, that you've had some type of compression or whatever, get it done as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I did not know that I had that level of trauma on the inside until we went through all these different avenues. So if you have the option of being able to get checked out, please do try to take care of it as soon as you can, and hopefully you'll have a lot quicker recovery than I do. I wish you luck. I'm so grateful for all of those new subscribers that have come on, and all those that ask questions. I love it. I'm glad that we're able to keep this as a discussion forum for everybody who's just looking for some more information. Since all the information scattered on the internet, there hasn't been one centralized place that I could find where you could go for some answers. So I'm hoping that this is a place for you to get some info, get some insight, get some hope in your condition. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment below. Make sure to like, share with anybody else who you think would benefit. Y'all have a good one. Thank you.